Hi guys, I'm just going to squeeze in the market briefing here. So we just had the Goldman Sachs results. Let's just talk about those briefly. The thing is here, well, first and foremost, these results are fantastic. Okay, the earnings per share is better than we were expecting, and it's better than the top side of the range. The revenue is better than expected, and it's better than the top side of the range. Okay, the problem we had was we had a rumour that the EPS was going to be at $6. It came in at $5.35. We had been expecting $4.17. The revenue 12.37 billion versus 10.95 billion. We've sold off. Two reasons: the dollar has strengthened quite a lot on this news. The dollar euro, for example, has dropped about 50 ticks from 149.30 down to about 148.80. And secondly, the rumour was $6, so initial reaction is, oh well, okay, these are really good results, but not quite as good as the rumour. So you always see, well, you don't always see, sometimes you see an initial kind of counterintuitive reaction here because of the rumour being so punchy. I have no doubt that we will make new highs at some point today because of these numbers, but the initial reaction is sometimes slightly confusing, slightly counterintuitive because of the initial kind of deflation feeling, because it wasn't quite as fantastic as the rumour was suggesting. Okay, but first and foremost, the earnings per share and the revenue were much better than expected. No bad comments from the CEO today, like we had from JP Morgan yesterday. They're pretty confident by the sounds of it, and you know, as well they should be. Goldman Sachs, obviously one of the best, sort of considered to be one of the best run companies in the world, really. Oil has dropped just below $75. Okay, so kind of counterintuitive moves across the board here, I think mainly because of the rumour. But the Goldman Sachs have been saying that they're seeing growth across a number of sectors. They're seeing improving conditions. So not only good numbers, good statements as well. Okay, we've moved lower. We've gone through the high at 1085.75, which was the high from the JP Morgan move yesterday morning. We got a pivot level at 1083.50 today, so we seem to be moving down to that point. I've got a Fibonacci series on here looking at yesterday's high and low, so we're just right on the 38.2% Fibonacci line at 1084.50. Okay, so a fib line there, but the pivot line coming in at 1083.50 as we kind of move lower despite some great results from Goldman Sachs. We've got a very packed calendar still to come. We've still got Citigroup to announce their Q3 earnings. We've got an expected EPS at 22.9 cents. That's a loss of 22.9 cents, I should add. And the revenue is expected at 19.739 billion. We're expecting those results at 1:30. Also at 1:30, we've got three bits of economic data. We've got the US CPI, we've got the weekly jobless claims and continuing claims, and we've got the US Empire Manufacturing. So 1:30 we're going to get swamped with a barrage of information that we're going to try and have to sift through. So 1:30 we're going to get a lot of news, guys. You have to take into account, you know, every bit of information we get and try and get a broad feeling overall what the news together means, i.e. bullish or bearish. Okay, so bear in mind we've got a lot of things announced at 1:30 today, all of which are important. Then 3 o'clock we've got the Philadelphia Fed survey, which again is important. So packed calendar still to come. We've already had the Goldman Sachs, better than expected, and the market's trading new lows for the day. So as I said, counterintuitive move. I do believe we're going to make new highs at some point today, though. That's my call. Like we had yesterday, the JP Morgan numbers, we did have a sell-off following those numbers after an initial spike. We seem to be finding a little bit of support here at this fib level, but it's backed up by the pivot level, which is just underneath, so we'll see how low we get. The next kind of news then is the 1:30 data with the Citigroup earnings. We may get these earnings before then, so we'll make sure you're in the loop if we get any news on that. But overall, guys, I want to show you the hour chart actually, just to give you an idea on the upside. I had this trend channel I was talking about yesterday, trend line, which has been working very well, and it was tested yesterday and held pretty well in the end. This was off that sharp move higher into the close yesterday, off the back of the Dow Jones moving through psychological 10,000 level. Number of markets across the board broke 12-month highs yesterday. Oil, for example, trading up, this morning touched $76, so that's 12-month highs there. Euro dollar got up to 149.70. Gold made new all-time highs, and of course stock markets globally made new 12-month highs. Okay, so this trend line, if we do turn around as I predict and move higher at some point, this trend line may come into play in terms of resistance. That'll be our first resistance level really, and then of course the 1100 psychological barrier. So they're the kind of two upside levels I'm looking at, together with the pivot points which come in at 1094.25, and actually the second one's just above 1100. So that pivot point, our two pivots combining very well with the psychological level at 1100, so that could indeed form quite a formidable barrier. But as I'm speaking, we're looking to get below this fib level and maybe have a test of this pivot level. So plenty more action to come today, guys. The dollar has kind of led us lower here, and the fact that the EPS number wasn't as good as the rumour suggested is why we're kind of drifting lower. But I think the market will at some point get a reality check and realise that these numbers are actually fantastic. It's obviously the timing of the reversal is key, and it may well be the 1:30 data releases, which of course need to be good as well, to give us that boost back to the upside. So lots of data, guys. There's going to be plenty more action to come. Don't feel you've missed the biggest opportunity of the day, because I don't think that's the case. So be careful out there, guys, and have a good day.